Chapter 3 of The Psychology of Money is called Never Enough. This chapter explores the powerful idea that no matter how much money or success some people achieve, they still feel unsatisfied. Morgan Housel explains that many financial mistakes and even tragedies come from the inability to recognize what is enough. Greed and comparison often push people to take unnecessary risks, and in the end, they can lose everything while chasing more. The chapter begins with the story of Rajat Gupta, a man who went from poverty in India to becoming one of the most successful business executives in the world. Gupta worked hard, became the head of McKinsey & Company, and built a fortune worth more than $100 million. He had wealth, status, and influence that most people can only dream of. Yet, despite having more than enough, Gupta wanted even more. He was caught in an insider trading scandal, where he tried to use secret information to make a few extra millions. That decision destroyed his career, cost him his reputation, and landed him in prison. Gupta's downfall shows the danger of not recognizing when enough is truly enough. Housel contrasts Gupta's story with that of another man, Madoff. Madoff was already wealthy and successful as a money manager, but he created the largest Ponzi scheme in history, stealing billions of dollars from investors. Like Gupta, Madoff already had more than he needed, but his greed pushed him to chase more until it all collapsed. Both stories serve as warnings. When people do not define enough, they can risk everything for nothing. To highlight this lesson, Housel also shares a lighter story involving the authors Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller. At a party hosted by a billionaire, Vonnegut teased Heller by pointing out that the billionaire made more money in a single day than Heller had earned from his famous novel Catch-22 over a lifetime. Heller replied calmly, saying, "Yes, but I have something he will never have, enough." That response captures the heart of this chapter. Enough is not about how much you have in comparison to others, it is about reaching a level where you are satisfied and do not need more to feel content. Housel explains that failing to recognize enough is dangerous for several reasons. First, when you always chase more, you will never feel satisfied. There will always be someone richer, more successful, or more famous. If your happiness depends on being the best, you will constantly feel inadequate. Second, greed often pushes people to take risks that are unnecessary. Someone who already has millions but gambles for billions can end up losing everything. History is full of examples where people who could have lived happily with what they had instead destroyed themselves by chasing more. The chapter reminds us that money has no end point. Unlike a race with a finish line, wealth accumulation never really stops. There is always a higher level to aim for, another mountain to climb, another competitor to beat. If you do not set your own definition of enough, the game never ends. This endless race can lead to unhappiness, poor decisions, and even disaster. Housel suggests that defining enough is a form of self-control. It requires understanding what truly matters to you and resisting the pressure of comparison. Society constantly shows us images of extreme wealth, luxury, and success. Social media makes comparison even worse, because people only share their highlights. If you measure your life against these endless examples, you will always feel behind. Instead, you must decide what is enough for you and stick to it. That is the only way to escape the trap of never-ending desire. The chapter also highlights the importance of opportunity cost. Every decision has a price, even if you do not see it directly. If you risk your reputation, your relationships, or your freedom to chase more money, the cost might be far greater than any financial gain. Rajat Gupta lost his status and credibility forever for trying to make a little more money that he did not need. That trade-off was irrational, yet it happens often when people cannot define enough. Housel makes the point that having enough is not about being lazy or unambitious. It is not about giving up on improvement or success. Instead, it is about balance. Striving for growth is good, but chasing endlessly without limits is destructive. Knowing when to stop is as important as knowing how to start. Wealth should be a tool for a better life, not a trap that keeps you constantly running after more. The chapter also challenges the idea of maximizing everything. Many people think the goal of investing or working is to maximize returns, maximize profits, or maximize efficiency. But maximizing can be dangerous because it usually requires taking on more risk. Instead, the goal should be to stay in the game long enough to enjoy the benefits of compounding. To do that, you must avoid taking risks that can knock you out of the game. Accepting enough helps you stay sustainable instead of constantly pushing until something breaks. Another lesson from this chapter is the psychological difference between needs and wants. Our actual needs are often simple: food, shelter, safety, relationships, purpose. But our wants grow endlessly. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another one appears. You might think owning a nice house will satisfy you, but soon you want a bigger one. You might believe earning 6 figures will be enough, but once you reach it, you dream of 7 figures. This cycle never ends unless you consciously say, "This is enough for me." Housel emphasizes that envy is one of the most powerful forces that makes people feel they do not have enough. Envy is comparing your life with someone else's highlight reel. It is wanting what others have, even if what you have is already plenty. Envy is especially dangerous with money, because there is always someone wealthier than you. Chasing to match or beat them is a game you cannot win, because there is no finish line. The only winning move is to stop playing that game. By the end of the chapter, Housel leaves readers with a clear message: happiness and financial well-being come not from having everything, but from knowing what is enough. Defining enough creates freedom, peace, and sustainability. Without it, no amount of money will make you feel secure or satisfied. You will always be chasing, always be risking, and always be comparing. But when you decide what enough means for you, you gain control over your life and your money. The lesson of never enough is both simple and profound. Wealth is not just about accumulating more, but about knowing when to stop. Enough is the ultimate measure of financial success. If you can learn to say, "This is enough for me," then you have achieved something most billionaires may never find: true contentment.